summary and line by line explanation of the poem. So, the title itself is a metaphor to describe the variety of forces that operate on the persona, that is gender, heritage, language, experience, ideology, and the search for meaning, etc. All these things are represented in this particular title itself. That is a metaphor for all these different concepts. The poet infuses her memories about her ancestral home in Kerala with the colonial influences in India and gender discrimination. So, all these are the themes or the topics that are depicted or portrayed in this particular poem. The House of a Thousand Doors picturizes a typical Kerala house with surroundings true to its nature. The house is with thousand doors and it has sills in bronze. The house is built that is the sills, basically the sill itself is 3 feet height to protect it from snakes, toads and rats, etc. As we know that in Kerala the, there are plenty of these kind of animals. So in order to protect, the house is built 3 feet high. Okay. Now the house has red roof tiles with a silver lightning rod as a prop. In her dream, she can see her powerful grandmother with a silken fan. The poet can see her kneeling at each doors of the house as to pay her never-ending debt. At the same time, the poet can hear a flute playing a bride's music. The poet says that she has seen her grandmother bowing in front of all the household gods who never let her in. So that is a summary of this particular poem, House of Thousand Doors. Now, the poem House of Thousand Doors. This house has 1,000 doors. The sills are cut in bronze, 3 feet high, to keep out snakes, toads, water rats that shimmer in the barred reeds at twilight as the sun burns down to the Kerala coast. So the poet, it's not a poem, the poet remembers the house situated in the Kerala coast with 1,000 doors and it has bronze sills. These are built 3 feet high to keep snakes and other animals away. These animals shimmer in the evening sunlight. The sill means that particular slab of stone or metal that we can find at the foot of a window opening or doorway. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ ഒരു ഡോറിൻ്റെ അടിയിൽ അതിൻ്റെ നമ്മൾ കട്ടിലയുടെ അടിഭാഗം ഉണ്ടാവില്ലേ, അതിനാണ് സിൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഏറ്റവും താഴെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് ഡോറിൻ്റെയും വിൻഡോൻ്റെയൊക്കെ അടിയിലായിട്ട് വരുന്ന ആ ഒരു പലകയ്ക്ക്, ആ ഒരു കഷ്ണത്തിന് പറയുന്നതാണ് സിൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നോ ഹിയർ ദിസ് പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഹൗസ് വിത്ത് 1,000 doors ഹാസ് the sill that is cut in ബ്രോൺസിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ബേസിക്കലി this particular house can be a representation of Indian culture where there are plenty of diversity in this particular culture. ഒന്ന്. രണ്ടാമത്തെ കാര്യം, the Indian culture is very open, that is anyone can enter or everyone are welcome in this particular culture. Okay. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ധാരാളം ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. ബിക്കോസ് വി വർ ഹാപ്പി ടു ഇൻവൈറ്റ് ഈച്ച് ആൻഡ് എവറി വൺ, ഓൾ ദ ഫോറിൻ ഇൻവേഡേഴ്സ്. അവർ പിന്നീട് ഇൻവേഡേഴ്സായി മാറിയതാണ്. ബട്ട് ദ തിങ് ഈസ് ദറ്റ് ഇന്ത്യ ഈസ് ഓൾവേസ് ഓപ്പൺ ഫോർ ദീസ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് തിങ്സ് ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ബേസിക്കലി എ ഹൗസ് ഓഫ് 1,000 doors ആൻഡ് ബ്രോൺസ് മീൻസ് ബ്രോൺസ് ഈസ് എൻ അലോയ്. ഓക്കെ. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ബ്രോൺസിൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇറ്റ് റെപ്രസെൻറ്റ്സ് ദ ഡൈവേഴ്സിറ്റി ഓർ ദ മൾട്ടി കൾച്ചറൽ ആസ്പെക്ട്സ് ഓഫ് Indian culture. Okay. Now, the roof is tiled in red pitch with a silver lightning rod, a pro set out from lands and bound nowhere. In dreams, waves lilt a silken fan in grandmother's hands, shell colored, utterly bare as the light takes her. Now, the house roof is tiled with red roof tiles. As we know that in Kerala, that is a very common type of thing. That is, our houses are basically red roof tiled with a silver lightning rod like a prow of a ship that points nowhere. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഷിപ്പിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും മുന്നിൽ കാണുന്ന ആ കൂർത്ത് വരുന്ന ഭാഗം, അതിനാണ് പ്രോ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതുപോലെയാണ് ഇവിടെ സിൽവർ ലൈറ്റ്നിങ് റോഡ്സ് വീടിൻ്റെ ഓട് വെച്ചതിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും അറ്റത്തായിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ കൂർത്ത് മുകളിലേക്ക് നിൽക്കുന്ന രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു ഫോമാണ് ഈ ഹൗസ് ഓഫ് 1000 ഡോസിനുള്ളത്. Now in the dream, poet clearly sees her powerful grandmother. Silken fan എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ the grandmother should be very powerful. അങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കണം. അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ സിൽക്കൻ ഫാൻ ഉണ്ടാവില്ലല്ലോ, വീശറി സാധാ വീശറിയിലേ ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ. So in the dream, poet clearly sees her powerful grandmother with her silken fan who is extremely bare in the light. So it's a kind of in that dream അതിലിങ്ങനെ റൈസ് ലിൽറ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഡൗൺവേർഡ് മോഷൻ. ഓക്കെ, ആ ഒരു രീതിയിൽ ആരെ കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്? ഗ്രാൻഡ് മദറിൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു ഇമേജ് കാണാണ്. നൗ ഷി നീൽസ് അറ്റ് ഈച്ച് ഓഫ് ദ 1000 doors in turn, paying her dues. Her debt is endless. I hear the flute played in darkness, a bride's music. A poor forked thing, I watch her kneel in all my lifetime, imploring the household gods who will not let her in. So the poet sees her grandmother kneeling at each and every door so as to pay her endless debts. Even though she seems to be extremely powerful, she still needs to bow in front of many people, which indicates the status of women in the society. It is a very common fact in the Indian society that a woman, even if she is very powerful, even she has lots of skills or she is educated, it is very important that she must please the people around her. So that is basically kneeling at each of these 1000 doors. Okay, that means that women are always considered, or women are always in debt with all other people around her. That is for giving her a life, for bringing her up, for providing food and other amenities for her. So basically women are always in debt of others, and in order to pay the dues she always has to kneel in front of each and every doors of this particular house. And not only about the people, but basically the cultural aspects, like the institutions, like even in household houses, then religion, culture, all these things can represent each and every door of that particular house. Okay, അതിനൊക്കെ തന്നെ എപ്പോഴും ഇങ്ങനെ താഴ്ന്നു കൊടുത്ത് അവരെ അതിനെയൊക്കെ തൃപ്തിപ്പെടുത്തുന്ന രീതിയിലായിരിക്കണം എപ്പോഴും ഒരു വുമൻ എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലാണ് പറയുന്നത്. സോ her grandmother is basically a representation of the woman in her society. The poet hears a flute's bridal music in the background that lingers with stereotypical roles of a woman as an object. And this bivalent status of woman makes her call her grandmother a poor forked thing who was made to be knelt in front of many household gods, trying to please people in a patriarchal society who would never treat her justly. Even though we try as much as we want or wanted to, or whatever we try, how much we try, or how much this lady, the grandmother, tries, nobody is going to let her in. Her status is not going to change, but still she is always trying to please these household gods. That is, poet merges her two grandmothers roles. That is, she had her paternal grandmother and maternal grandmother, and maternal grandmother was a political activist, and paternal grandmother was a homemaker. So basically she merges her image of both these grandmothers, that is the political activist or politician and this homemaker. So both these concepts of or idea this particular attribute of her grandmothers are being merged here, and poet merges her two grandmothers roles, that is one politician and other homemakers, into one to express the hopeless state of the woman in Indian culture. Even if she is a homemaker, even if she is a politician, whatever how much powerful she may be or she can be, it doesn't matter. The role is already set for them. Okay, So she is expected to always bend in front of others or always kneel in front of others to make this patriarchal society happy with her. Okay, so that is basically the summary of line by line meaning or analysis of this particular